Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Let me ask you something. Have you ever stopped to think about how much time you've wasted worrying about things that, in the end, didn't matter? Tonight, I want to talk about lessons life teaches us, but too often we learn them when it's almost too late. Time is your most valuable currency, and it is the one resource you can never reclaim once it's spent. Yet far too often we treat it as if it's infinite. We procrastinate, we hesitate, and we allow distractions to steal moments that could have been used to build something meaningful. Every day we exchange time for something, whether it's progress toward our dreams, time spent with loved ones, or mindless scrolling on our phones. The difference between a life of purpose and a life of regret lies in what we choose to spend our time on. Think about it. Money, possessions, even relationships can often be repaired, replaced, or renewed, but time is non-refundable. The seconds, minutes, and hours we waste today are gone forever, leaving us with nothing but the question, what if I had used that time differently? And the thing about time is, it doesn't ask for permission to pass. It doesn't wait for you to get motivated or figure out the right moment. It moves forward relentlessly, whether you're making the most of it or not. The greatest regret many people have later in life isn't about the things they tried and failed at, it's about the time they wasted not trying. Imagine looking back and realizing you had the potential to do so much more, but you were too busy being busy. What does busy even mean? For many, it's a shield we use to avoid confronting the fact that we're not spending our time wisely. Being busy is not the same as being productive. Filling your schedule with endless tasks that don't align with your goals or values is just another way of throwing time away. It's important to understand that time is an investment. Every moment is a choice to either move closer to the person you want to become or further away. Are you using your time to build the life you envision? To strengthen your relationships? To take care of yourself and grow? Or are you letting it slip away, buried in distractions, regrets, and routines that lead nowhere? We live in a world full of distractions, and technology has made it easier than ever to waste hours on things that don't matter. But every hour you spend aimlessly is an hour you could have spent learning something new, working on your craft, or simply enjoying the presence of someone you love. It's not just about being productive, it's about being intentional. Even rest and relaxation, when done with purpose, can be a way of investing your time wisely. You don't have to have everything figured out to start making better use of your time. What matters is that you recognize its value. Treat it like the treasure it is. Prioritize what's meaningful over what's convenient. Guard your time against anything that doesn't serve your purpose or bring you joy. Because when the clock runs out, the only thing that will matter is how you spent the precious gift of time. Health is wealth, it's a phrase we've all heard, yet so many fail to truly grasp its meaning until their health starts to deteriorate. We live in a fast-paced world where it's easy to prioritize work, deadlines, and external achievements over the foundational necessity of taking care of ourselves. But no matter how much success you achieve, no matter how many accolades you collect, none of it matters if your body and mind can't keep up. Health is not just an asset, it's the bedrock upon which everything else is built. Your body is the vessel that carries you through life. It's the only one you'll ever have, and how you treat it directly impacts not only how long you live, but also how well you live. Neglecting your health can lead to consequences that creep up slowly and achy here, a shortness of breath there until one day it's impossible to ignore. And by then, the damage may already be done. Prevention is far easier and far less painful than trying to fix what's broken. The challenge for many is that health doesn't always demand immediate attention. You can eat poorly, skip sleep, or ignore exercise for weeks, months, even years without seeing obvious consequences. But just because the effects aren't immediate doesn't mean they aren't cumulative. Every poor choice adds up over time, silently eroding your strength, energy, and resilience. What seems like a small sacrifice today, a quick workout skipped or a meal replaced with fast food, can snowball into chronic conditions, reduced mobility, or a shortened lifespan. Mental health is just as crucial as physical health. Stress, Anxiety and depression often go unnoticed or unaddressed until they manifest in physical ways: high blood pressure, insomnia, or a weakened immune system. Taking care of your mental well-being is not a luxury, it's a necessity. Setting boundaries, seeking help when you need it, and allowing yourself time to rest are all acts of self-care that protect your overall health. Investing in your health is an act of self-respect and a gift to those who love you. When you take care of yourself, you're better equipped to take care of others. You can't be the best partner, parent, friend, or leader if you're constantly running on empty. Prioritizing your health isn't selfish, it's the most selfless thing you can do because it ensures you're there, fully present and capable for the people who matter most. Health doesn't have to mean perfection. It's not about rigid diets or grueling exercise routines. It's about balance, consistency, and mindfulness. It's about listening to your body and giving it what it needs: nutritious food, movement, rest, and care. And if you're already facing health challenges, it's never too late to start making better choices. Small changes can lead to big improvements over time. The truth is, you can't buy health. No amount of money can undo the effects of years of neglect. So treat your body with the respect it deserves. Because at the end of the day, your health is your greatest wealth, and without it, nothing else matters. Happiness doesn't come from things. It's a truth that's easy to hear but hard to live by in a world that constantly tells us otherwise. We're surrounded by messages that equate success with possessions, achievement with acquisition, and fulfillment with material wealth. Advertisements, social media, and even societal norms push the idea that a bigger house, a faster car, or the latest gadget will somehow fill the emptiness inside. But the reality is, no matter how much you own, true happiness cannot be bought because it doesn't come from external things, it comes from within. The pursuit of happiness through material possessions often feels rewarding in the moment. There's a rush when you buy something new, a fleeting sense of satisfaction as you unwrap it or show it off. But that feeling fades. The new car becomes just a way to get from point A to point B. The expensive outfit becomes just another piece of clothing in your closet. And soon you're looking for the next thing, thinking maybe this will be it. Maybe this will finally make me happy. It won't. Because lasting happiness isn't found in objects, it's found in experiences, in connections, and in living a life aligned with your values. Happiness comes from within because it's rooted in things that cannot be bought: gratitude, purpose, and love. Gratitude shifts your focus from what you lack to what you have, and it's impossible to feel truly grateful without feeling some degree of joy. Purpose gives you a reason to get up in the morning, a sense of direction that transcends the fleeting pleasure of material things. Love, whether it's love for your family, your friends, or even yourself, is what makes life meaningful. These are the things that fill your soul, not your shopping cart. This isn't to say material possessions are bad or unnecessary. A comfortable home, reliable transportation, and financial security can make life easier and reduce stress. But once your basic needs are met, more possessions don't equate to more happiness. In fact, they can often do the opposite. The endless chase for more can leave you feeling empty because you're trying to fill an emotional void with physical things. True happiness comes from living authentically and appreciating the small, everyday moments. It's found in laughter shared with loved ones, in the pride of overcoming a challenge, in the quiet peace of a sunset or a walk in the park. These moments cost nothing, but their value is immeasurable. When you stop tying your happiness to possessions, you free yourself. You no longer have to measure your worth by what you own or compare yourself to others who seem to have more. You realize that happiness is not something you find, it's something you create. It's a mindset, a choice to focus on what truly matters. Because at the end of your life, it won't be the things you accumulated that bring you comfort. It will be the memories you made, the people you loved, and the joy you found in simply being alive. Failing is not the end, it's the beginning. This is a lesson that's difficult to embrace in the moment, but transformative once understood. Failure has a way of feeling final, like a door slamming shut, cutting off possibilities and dimming hopes. But that perception is a lie. Failure is not the opposite of success, it is a part of it. Every great achievement, every significant breakthrough is built on a foundation of missteps, mistakes, and lessons learned. To fail is to be human, and to rise from failure is to be extraordinary. When you fail, it's tempting to see it as proof that you weren't good enough, smart enough, or strong enough. But failure is rarely about worth, it's about process. Every failure contains a lesson, and every lesson is an opportunity to grow. The greatest innovators, leaders, and creators didn't avoid failure, they embraced it. They understood that failing is not falling short, it's reaching for something beyond your current abilities. It's a sign that you're trying, risking, and striving for more. The fear of failure can be paralyzing. It convinces you to play it safe, to stick to what you know, to avoid taking risks that might not pan out. But a life without failure is a life without growth. When you avoid failure, you also avoid the chance to discover what you're truly capable of. Comfort zones may feel safe, but they're also prisons, keeping you from exploring the vast potential that lies beyond their walls. Failure is the key that unlocks those doors. Failure also teaches resilience. When you fail and choose to try again, you build a kind of strength that can't be developed any other way. It's the strength of perseverance, of knowing that setbacks are temporary and that you have the power to overcome them. Every time you get back up, you prove to yourself that failure doesn't define you, your response to it does. And with each attempt, you get closer to success. It's important to remember that failure is never wasted if you learn from it. Each mistake offers valuable insight into what didn't work and why. It sharpens your skills, deepens your understanding, and prepares you for future challenges. Success achieved without failure is often shallow because it doesn't carry the weight of effort and persistence. Success that rises from failure, however, is rich with meaning and earned with grit. Reframing failure as a beginning rather than an end can transform how you approach life. Instead of fearing it, you can welcome it as a necessary step on the journey toward your goals. You can stop seeing failure as a reflection of your limitations and start seeing it as evidence of your courage to try. Because the truth is, every failure you face brings you one step closer to success. Life is not about avoiding failure, it's about using it. Use it to learn, to grow, and to push yourself beyond what you thought possible. Failure is not the end of your story, it's just the beginning of a new chapter. Relationships are like gardens, they need tending. This is a truth that often goes unappreciated until the neglect becomes impossible to ignore. Human connections, whether they are with family, friends, or romantic partners, are among the most significant aspects of life. Yet too often we take these relationships for granted, assuming they'll always be there regardless of how little attention we give them. But just as a garden left untended will grow weeds and wither, so too will relationships that are neglected. They require effort, care, and intentionality to thrive. It's easy to fall into the trap of thinking that once a relationship is established, it will sustain itself. After all, when life gets busy, maintaining relationships can feel like just another task on an already overwhelming to-do list. But relationships don't thrive on autopilot. They require communication, understanding, and a willingness to invest time and energy. A kind word, a thoughtful gesture, or simply showing up can make all the difference. Neglecting these small but significant acts creates distance, and over time, that distance can grow into a chasm. The truth is, relationships are fragile. They can be strengthened by love and care, but they can also be fractured by neglect, misunderstanding, or complacency. It's not enough to simply love someone, you have to show that love in ways that are meaningful to them. Listening, being present, and valuing their needs and feelings are all acts of care that build trust and deepen bonds. When you prioritize a relationship, it flourishes. When you don't, it suffers. One of the biggest challenges in maintaining relationships is balancing them with the demands of life. Work, responsibilities, and personal goals can easily take up most of your time and energy, leaving little left for those you care about. But the truth is, relationships are not just a part of life, they are central to it. At the end of the day, it's not your achievements or possessions that bring you the greatest joy, it's the people you share them with. Taking time to nurture your relationships is not a distraction from your goals, it's an essential part of a fulfilling life. Relationships also require forgiveness and resilience. Just as no one is perfect, no relationship is without its flaws. Conflicts will arise, mistakes will be made, and feelings will get hurt. But these challenges don't have to break a relationship. When approached with patience and understanding, they can actually strengthen it. Choosing to forgive, to communicate openly, and to work through difficulties shows a level of commitment that deepens trust and intimacy. Ultimately, relationships are among the most rewarding investments you can make. The effort you put into them comes back tenfold in the form of love, support, and shared happiness. Neglect may seem easier in the moment, but the long-term cost is loneliness and regret. Take the time to tend to your relationships, water them with care, nourish them with love, and weed out the small issues before they grow into larger problems. Because like a garden, the beauty of a well-tended relationship is worth every ounce of effort. Not everyone is rooting for you, and that's perfectly fine. This is a lesson that can be difficult to accept, especially if you're someone who values harmony or approval. But the truth is, no matter what you do, not everyone will understand your dreams, support your choices, or celebrate your successes. Some people will doubt you, criticize you, or even work against you, not because of who you are, but because of where they are in their own journey. Recognizing this is crucial because wasting time and energy trying to win everyone over is a losing battle. Human nature often makes us seek validation. We want to be liked, respected, and acknowledged. There's nothing wrong with this desire in moderation. It's a natural part of being social creatures. But when you start tailoring your actions to please others, you lose sight of your own goals and values. You begin living for their approval instead of for your purpose. And here's the hard truth: even if you bend over backward, some people will still find reasons to criticize you. That's why it's essential to learn to stand firm in your truth, even when others aren't cheering you on. Some people's lack of support stems from their own insecurities. Your ambition, success, or determination may remind them of what they've neglected in their own lives. Instead of addressing those feelings constructively, they project negativity onto you. It's not about you, it's about them. Understanding this can help you let go of the need for their approval and focus on what truly matters: your vision, your passion, and your path. Criticism, when constructive, can be a gift. It offers insights you might not have considered and helps you grow. But not all criticism is constructive. Some people criticize simply to tear others down, often because they feel small themselves. Knowing the difference is key. Accept feedback from those who genuinely care about you and want to see you improve, but don't let unwarranted negativity derail your journey. When you start achieving your goals, you may notice that some people's attitudes toward you change. Success has a way of revealing true intentions. Those who genuinely care about you will celebrate your achievements. Those who don't may distance themselves, diminish your efforts, or even undermine you. It can be disheartening, but it's also clarifying. Not everyone is meant to accompany you on every step of your journey, and that's okay. The key is to focus on the people who matter, the ones who believe in you, even when things get tough. Surround yourself with those who uplift and inspire you, and let go of the need to prove yourself to those who don't. Your time and energy are precious, and they're better spent building your dreams than trying to win over people who were never meant to be part of them. At the end of the day, the only person who truly needs to believe in you is you. Your path is yours to walk, and not everyone will understand it. Keep moving forward, not for the applause, but for the fulfillment that comes from living authentically and staying true to your purpose. Perfection is an illusion. Yet, so many people spend their lives chasing it, believing that if they could just reach some flawless state, they'd finally be happy, successful, or worthy. But the pursuit of perfection is a trap, a mirage that always seems just out of reach. No matter how much you accomplish, how skilled you become, or how carefully you plan, there will always be something that could be improved, someone doing it differently, or a standard that feels impossible to meet. Understanding this truth is liberating because it allows you to shift your focus from trying to be perfect to simply trying to be better. The pressure to be perfect often comes from external expectations, whether they're real or imagined. Society idolizes perfection, presenting polished images of success, beauty, and achievement that are often far removed from reality. Social media, in particular, amplifies this. As people showcase their highlights while hiding their struggles, it creates a false narrative that everyone else has it together, making your imperfections feel magnified. But the truth is, no one is perfect. Behind every curated post, every smiling face, and every accolade is a person who also struggles, stumbles, and doubts themselves. Perfectionism doesn't just steal your joy, it can paralyze you. When you're so focused on getting everything right, you may avoid taking risks or trying new things for fear of failure. You might hold back from pursuing a dream because you don't feel ready or qualified enough. But here's the thing, you'll never feel fully ready. Waiting for perfection often means waiting forever. Growth comes from action, and action often involves mistakes. Those mistakes are not signs of failure, they're signs of progress. Embracing imperfection is not about settling or giving up on improvement. It's about recognizing that flaws and failures are part of the process. They're what make you human, relatable, and real. When you allow yourself to be imperfect, you open the door to creativity, learning, and resilience. You stop striving for an impossible ideal and start striving for excellence, a standard that allows for growth, adaptability, and authenticity. This shift in mindset is particularly important in relationships and self-acceptance. Trying to be perfect for others can lead to stress, burnout, and a sense of never being enough. The people who truly care about you don't need you to be perfect, they need you to be genuine. Likewise, accepting your imperfections allows you to extend grace to yourself. It helps you move past self-criticism and focus on what truly matters: progress, not perfection. The most fulfilling successes in life often come from messy beginnings, hard lessons, and imperfect journeys. The beauty of imperfection is that it allows for growth. Each flaw is an opportunity to learn, to adapt, and to become better. So let go of the illusion of perfection. Focus instead on being the best version of yourself, flaws and all. Because it's not perfection that makes you valuable, it's your unique, imperfect humanity that truly matters. The world does not owe you anything, and this reality is one that many people learn too late in life. From a young age, we're often taught to believe that if we work hard, do the right things, and follow the rules, life will give us what we deserve. But the truth is, the world doesn't operate on a system of fairness or entitlement. It operates on opportunity, action, and sometimes sheer luck. No one is guaranteed success, happiness, or even a fair shot at life. This is a harsh truth, but understanding it can set you free. When you expect the world to owe you something, you set yourself up for frustration and disappointment. Life doesn't work like a transaction where you give your best and automatically receive what you believe you deserve. The reality is that you may work harder than anyone else, pour your heart and soul into your goals, and still face setbacks, rejection, or failure. This isn't a personal indictment, it's just how life is. Some people will succeed despite doing less, and others will fail despite doing everything right. But this doesn't mean the world is unfair, it simply means that the world isn't a meritocracy where effort guarantees results. The sooner you let go of the belief that the world owes you anything, the sooner you can take full ownership of your life. Waiting for someone to give you a break, to open a door, or to offer you a chance can leave you stuck in a cycle of resentment and stagnation. Instead, understand that the only person responsible for your success and happiness is you. You have the power to shape your own future, to create opportunities, and to build the life you want, but it requires persistence, resilience, and sometimes an ability to pick yourself up when the world lets you down. This mindset shift is liberating because it removes the pressure of waiting for external circumstances to align in your favor. You stop blaming your situation, your upbringing, or your circumstances for your lack of progress. You realize that the world doesn't owe you anything, but you owe it to yourself to keep pushing forward. Success doesn't always come quickly or easily, but it does come to those who keep showing up, who keep trying, who keep creating their own opportunities. The world also owes you nothing in terms of validation or recognition. The applause of others is fleeting and unreliable. You may never receive the accolades you feel you deserve, and that's okay. The key is to find intrinsic motivation to do things because they matter to you, not because you expect recognition or rewards. If you wait for the world to acknowledge you, you may spend your whole life waiting. But if you take pride in your own work, in your own journey, and in your own growth, you will find fulfillment, regardless of whether the world ever acknowledges it. At the end of the day, the world's indifference can be a blessing in disguise. It means that your success isn't tied to anyone else's expectations, and it's not subject to anyone else's approval. You have the freedom to define your own path, to make your own choices, and to build your own destiny. So stop waiting for the world to owe you something and start taking action. The world might not owe you anything, but you owe it to yourself to make the most of every opportunity and to create the life you desire. Happiness is not something that is handed to you. It's something you have to choose, work for, and cultivate within yourself. Many people mistakenly believe that happiness will arrive once they achieve a certain milestone, whether it's landing the perfect job, finding the right partner, or reaching a specific financial goal. But the truth is, happiness is not a destination, it's a mindset. Relying on external factors to bring you happiness is a trap because life is unpredictable, and those factors may not always align the way you hope. In reality, happiness is about your inner attitude, how you choose to perceive the world, and how you respond to the challenges that life throws your way. So often, we find ourselves waiting for the right circumstances to feel content. We think that happiness is something we'll feel when the pieces of our life finally fall into place. But the issue with this mindset is that life is always changing. No situation is ever perfect, and the moment we think we've achieved happiness, a new challenge arises. There will always be something else to strive for, another goal to reach, and new obstacles to overcome. If you tie your happiness to these fleeting moments, you'll find yourself in a never-ending pursuit, always waiting for the next achievement to bring you satisfaction. Instead of waiting for happiness to show up, you have to make the conscious decision to find joy in the present moment. Happiness isn't about having everything you want, it's about learning to appreciate what you already have. It's about choosing to see the good in your life, no matter how small or insignificant it may seem. It's about gratitude for the things that are going well, even when there are challenges in other areas. Happiness is something that grows from within. When you learn to be content with who you are, where you are, and what you have, you create a foundation for lasting happiness that doesn't rely on external circumstances. A lot of people spend their lives chasing happiness through material possessions or status, but those things, while enjoyable in the short term, don't provide lasting fulfillment. The happiness that comes from buying a new car, getting a promotion, or moving into a bigger house fades quickly as the initial excitement wears off. True happiness comes from within by nurturing positive emotions, embracing self-acceptance, and building meaningful relationships. The joy that comes from deep connections with others, from helping those in need, and from pursuing passions that align with your values is what creates real fulfillment. At the same time, it's important to recognize that happiness doesn't mean perfection or constant bliss. Life is full of ups and downs, and there will be times when you feel sad, frustrated, or angry. But true happiness comes from the ability to embrace all emotions and recognize that even in the difficult moments there is growth. It's about accepting that life is a mix of light and dark, and learning how to navigate those moments with grace and resilience. Happiness is a daily practice. It's a choice to focus on the positive, to be kind to yourself, and to embrace the beauty of life, no matter how imperfect it may seem. It's about being present in the moment and learning to appreciate the journey, not just the destination. When you stop waiting for happiness to show up and start choosing it for yourself, you create a life of true fulfillment, one that is built on gratitude, self-love, and a deep understanding that happiness is not an end goal, but a way of living. No one can teach you everything you need to know about life, no matter how much advice they give or how much you listen. The truth is that life is an experience that you must live to truly understand. There are lessons that can only be learned through personal experience, through making mistakes, and through growing from those mistakes. No matter how much wisdom you receive from others, there are things you can only discover for yourself. You can listen to guidance, read books, attend seminars, and seek advice from the most accomplished people, but it is your own journey, your own choices, and your own challenges that will ultimately shape who you become. People often want shortcuts to wisdom. They want the easy way to avoid pain, to get ahead, and to make the right decisions. But the reality is that growth doesn't happen in a straight line, and wisdom is gained through the bumps and bruises of life. There are things you won't understand until you've walked through hardship, until you've faced failure, or until you've experienced loss. You can't learn the depth of resilience without facing setbacks. You can't understand the value of patience until you've had to wait for something that's worth it. Life teaches you lessons in ways you never expect, and it's in those moments when things aren't going according to plan that you learn the most about who you are and what you're capable of. Advice from others is valuable, and learning from those who have gone before you can save you time and effort. But ultimately, the most important lessons are those you encounter firsthand. No one can tell you how it feels to lose a loved one, how it feels to be at your lowest point, or how it feels to rebuild your life from scratch. These are experiences that only you can know, and they are the moments that define your personal growth. It's through the struggles, the failures, and the unexpected challenges that you develop resilience, strength, and wisdom. There is no textbook for life. The answers to your deepest questions aren't going to be handed to you. You have to discover them for yourself. It's through trial and error, through risking everything and sometimes losing it, that you learn what matters most. You can listen to others tell you what success looks like or how to handle relationships, but until you're in the thick of it, you won't truly understand the lessons that come with those experiences. Learning through experience also means that you have to embrace uncertainty. Life is unpredictable, and no amount of preparation or advice can shield you from the unknown. The key is to be willing to step into that unknown, to trust yourself, and to be open to learning along the way. Every decision, every risk, and every mistake carries a lesson that will serve you in the future. You have to be willing to face those lessons head on, even when it's uncomfortable or difficult. No one can walk your journey for you. The wisdom that others offer may provide guidance, but the depth of understanding, the true insights into who you are and what you want out of life, will only come from your own experiences. So don't be afraid to live fully, make mistakes, and learn from them. Life is the greatest teacher you'll ever have, and the lessons it offers are the ones that will shape you into the person you're meant to be. As we wrap up, it's clear that life is full of lessons we often learn too late. We spend so much time chasing perfection, waiting for the right moment, or relying on external factors for happiness. But the truth is, life doesn't owe us anything. The path isn't always predictable, and the outcomes aren't guaranteed. What matters most is how we navigate the uncertainty, how we choose to embrace each moment, and how we learn from our experiences. Happiness isn't something you find outside yourself, it's something you create within. Time is precious, and the world won't wait for you to get things right. There's no perfect way to live, no blueprint for success, and no manual for happiness. But when we accept that, we take back control. We stop waiting for things to fall into place and start actively shaping our own journey. It's through our mistakes, setbacks, and challenges that we grow and become the person we're meant to be. So remember, life is not about waiting for the right time or the right outcome. It's about making the most of what we have right here, right now. Embrace the journey. Because the greatest tragedy isn't that life is short. It's that we take too long to start truly living. Thank you.